Morning, everybody. So hopefully this is your second computing lesson for today. So hopefully you've come back from your playtime and you've had a lovely break. So we're now going to continue doing some more animation together using 2Animate. So today for the second session, what we're going to try and do is try to create some more exciting animations that use a few more skills. And what we're going to learn about today is we're going to try to drop some backgrounds into our animation. We're also going to try and use some sound effects with our animation as well. And we're also going to try and look at a very cool tool, which some of you might remember from a couple of weeks ago. So the tool that I want to show you is this one here, and it looks like an onion. This is called the onion skin. Now, the skin of an onion is very, very thin. It's like tracing paper. So when animators do their drawing, they use a special tool called the onion skin tool that helps them to trace over their pictures. So, for example, I'm going to do something really simple. Here, I'm just going to draw a cloud, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a cloud. Oops. Let's make that a bit better. Here we go. So here's my cloud. I'm just drawing like this. And what I want to do is I want to make my cloud go across the top of my frame, and I want it to start to rain. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm just going to drag that frame over to the frame 2. And what I want to do is I want to select my cloud and move it across. But what would be really helpful is to know where the cloud was before I started to animate. And this is where the onion tool comes into. So at the minute it's grey, it means it's not activated. When I click on it, it goes to a colour. And that's going to help me to know where the cloud was last. Okay, so now what I can do is I can select my cloud like I did before. And I can move across. Now you can see, look, it's left behind where the cloud was. So I can know where it was before, and I can start to move across like that. So it's gone from there to there. I'll just do the same thing. I'm going to move it across. We'll select it. So I'm just going to move it across again. I'll drag it across and do another one. Let's get some more frames up. There we go. So drag it across. There we go. Oops. Now, I'm trying to drag it, but I've got nothing to select. So here you can see, look, I'm in frame 6. There's nothing there. This light grey one is where the onion skin is working. It's showing me where it was last. Okay. And so that allows me, if I wanted to draw or change my cloud, I know roughly what it looks like. So what I'm going to do now, actually, is I want to start to make the cloud look a bit darker. So I'm just going to put some black in there. And now that I've got my onion skin on, I can see where it was last. So I can start now to add some more black. So when I have my cloud, before it looked like that, oops. There we go, let's do this one. Add some black bits to it. So now I know roughly what it looked like. There we go. So if I press play, this is what it looks like so far. It's gone very quick, so let's just make it a bit slower. So this is what it looks like at the minute. And it goes black. Okay. I quite like this cloud to be a little bit darker, so I'm just going to add some more to it. And I want it to be roughly the same sort of shape and size, so that's why I put the onion skin on. There we go. Now, what I want to do is I want it to start to rain and to shoot lightning as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw some rain coming out of it. And I'm going to use the line tool to do this. So I'm just going to draw one. There we go. Coming out. And then I'll draw another one coming down. And another one. Whoops. Let's drag that across. Do another one. Now remember, I'm doing mine quite quickly. You're going to have a lot more time to do this. Okay. So that's what I've got so far. If I press the play, that's what it looks like. Okay, so mine's very, very quick. You're going to have a lot more time. So that's the onion skin tool. It allows you to see what happened on the previous frame so that you can trace your pictures a lot more accurately. Now I'm going to start a new animation. And what I want to do is I want to teach you how to put a background in. So at the top here, you can see this picture here next to the onion. It's going to allow me to select a background image. So if I click that, all of these backgrounds are available for you to use for your animation. Okay. And what I want us to do is I want us to choose one of these animations for the background. And you want to try to create an animation for that background. Okay, so I'm just going to select this pirate ship over here. So I'll select it. And when you get this selection, you're going to have two options. You can either have it appear on every single frame background, or if I select this bottom one, it's just going to be the first frame. Now I want it to be the same in every single background, so I want it on all frames. I'm going to press OK. So now you can see, look, here in all my frames, the pirate background is on. And you'll notice that the background on my frame is slightly lighter. It looks like a sheet of tracing paper has been put on front of it. So that, again, is to allow you to know what it's going to look like, but it won't distract you from your drawing. What I want to do is I want to shoot a cannonball out from one of the cannonball areas. And I want to make it look like it is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, and I want an explosion. So what I'm going to do is on my first frame here, I want to draw a cannonball. So I'm just going to draw a cannonball. So I've got the black ball here. I'm just going to drag it across here, and I want it to be really small to begin with. It's about like that. Okay, and then I'm going to drag it across. And I can now, if I wanted to, I can select it. And what I can do with these tools, I can actually stretch it to make it a little bit bigger, like that. So it's gone from that to that, and I can drag it across, and I can do the same thing. I can drag it, make it a little bit bigger. Okay, and I'll do the same thing. Make it a bit bigger, stretch it. I need to add some more frames. There we go. So I was on frame 4, now I'm on frame 5. Because I've got the onion skin on, I can see what it looked like before. And I want to drag that across, and now I can change this one. So make it a bit bigger. And I want it to be a little bit bigger. And what I want to do is, when I've got my cannonball, I want it to look like it's going to sort of hit sort of like the screen of my computer, to make it look like it's going to shatter the computer screen, which I thought would be quite cool. So this is what it looks like so far. So you can see my cannonball is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's looking like it's getting closer and closer and closer. Now, I'm on my last frame here. And what I want to do is I want to make it look like the screen of my camera is going to start to shatter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few more frames. I'll drag my last frame across. And what I want to try and do now is, with my straight line tool, I'm going to start to draw some cracks. And then bit by bit, I want the cracks to start to get bigger and bigger. So I'm just going to add lines to each of my frames as I go along. So I want another one there. And I'll start to make another one there. And maybe this one can go that way there. Let's have that go that way, and that one go that way. So I want to start adding more lines. It looks like it's shattering. Again, you're going to have loads more time than me, so yours is going to look loads better. But I'm just rushing mine because I want to just quickly show you what it's going to look like. So this is what it looks like so far. So you can sort of see the lines are appearing. It looks like the sort of screen shattering a little bit. Okay. Now, once you've had a go at this, the next thing I want to show you how to do is to make it look like you've got an explosion happening. And to do that, I want to add some sound effects. So to add some sound effects, you go up to the very top, there is this speaker button here with a little green cross on it. I'm going to select that, and I can now add a sound. Lots of different sounds that I could select. I could have some applause. If I was doing something with some magic on, I might select magic. I'm doing a cannon explosion, so it'd be quite good to have a bang. Yes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that, and you'll notice where the frame is that I selected it. So I selected it on this very first frame. There's a little green arrow there. That tells me I've got sound effects on that slide. Okay, so this is what it sounds like. Cool. So now what I want to do is I want to make it sound like a smash is happening. So like if the glass is breaking. So this is the last frame. So my slide 7, that's the last frame I had where the ball gets bigger. On slide 8, you can see that my lines have started to appear. So that's where it starts to break and shatter. So I'll go back to my add a sound. Now these are the simple sounds that I could make. If I go to the drop-down menu, there's other sounds that you can have as well. So I could have, for example, this is all bells and clocks. So if you're doing a game, you want lots of sort of bells and clocks, so you might want to use those ones. Game sounds. So again, if you're doing an animation and maybe someone gets something right, you might do like a correct sort of sound. Magic sounds. Disappear. I don't think that's going to work for mine. There's some music as well. That sounds cool. Won't fit my animation though, will it? Other sounds. Here we go. Other sounds. So I've got here, you've got 2 options. I've got glass 1 and glass 2. So glass 1. Oh, sounds like glass. Brilliant. This one. Oh, so now I've got to decide which one I want. I quite like the first one. Yeah, so let's have the first one. I'll say the first one. Okay. And when I press play, this is what it sounds like. Aha. Now, once you've done that, you can then start to have fun with what else is animating. So for example, now that the ball's hit the screen and there's lots of vibrations, what I might want to do is maybe draw maybe some of the coconuts falling off the tree. And maybe I could put some as another sound effect of it making like a thumping sound at the bottom. There's lots of things you could try to do, okay? My top tip for you though, everybody, is to keep it simple. Don't go too over the top and be too ambitious with your animations because they can take a long time to do and you'll probably run out of time. So keep it simple. So your challenge is to try to create your own animation using some sound effects as well as a background image. And what you decide to do is completely up to you. Remember, there is so many types of backgrounds that you could choose from. Some set in space. If you want to do like an alien one, there's a stage here. Maybe you want to draw dancer dancing. There's some under the sea ones where there's maybe you want to do some fishes swimming. But again, once you're doing your animation, can you please save your animation? Okay, so where I want you to save this piece of work is if you go to your save option. We were in Aylesford class 2021. We are in Term 4 animation and we're in lesson 3. And then just type in your name like you did before. Okay. If you can't find these folders, don't worry. Make sure you put your name on there and I'll be able to find it somewhere. But this is the easiest way for me to find your work. Other examples you could do for your animation. So I've done, let's have a look. I've done pirate ships before. I've also done one. I was having a go at doing one with the Godzilla. So let me show you this one I was doing for Godzilla. So I was having a go at doing this one. So you can have a bit of fun with your animation. Okay. So yeah, have some fun. And make sure that you save your work as you go along. That way, then if you make a mistake or if you accidentally close your animation, you don't lose it. So I say it's always a good routine when you're doing this sort of work. Save often. So every couple of minutes, get into a habit of going up to the top and pressing your save button. Then you won't lose your work as you go along. So by the end of this lesson, I want everyone to have their own animation that they've made with a background and with some sound effects on. Okay, everyone, and look forward to seeing what you come up with. So have fun, and I'll see you later on.